Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Angela Kane. I'm one of the co-presidents of the Peterson Elementary School PTA, along with Valerie Gremion. A little bit about me. I have a freshman in high school. She attended Peterson for her fifth grade year. We moved here in 2018, and I have a current fifth grader at the school. I have been serving on the PTA board since 2019 as co-VP with my Valerie, and then now as co-president. And I think our main objective of this conversation tonight is to sort of help shed light on what the PTA is, what we do for the school, and how it impacts our children and our school community. Another objective is to get a parent's point of view and to, hopefully answer some questions that people may have. Our goal is really to educate the community and just to help maybe clear up any misconceptions people may have about the PTA and what it means for their child specifically. So we really, really hope you'll find this chat informative. And without further ado, please let me introduce Tiksha, our volunteer parent tonight. So please introduce yourself and let our people know.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angela. Hi there. I'm Yatiksha, and I have one kiddo currently attending Peterson with another one joining next year. Thanks for allowing me to talk on this platform and share my thoughts about the PTA, what all it does, and, how best to involve myself from the perspective of parent. So could I request you, Angela, to start by talking about what the PTA is and what it does?
Sure. That's a great place to start. First of all, the abbreviation PTA stands for Parent Teacher Association. And the PTA has a long, long history in the U.S. dating back 125 years. So it has been around for quite a while. The National PTA is one of the largest and oldest child advocacy associations, actually, in America. And there are levels to the PTA. So we've got our national level, and then below that you have the state level, and then we have our district level, and then we have ourselves as the Peterson PTA. So we do have, it's sort of an umbrella we fall under, and there are guidelines and rules and compliance, things that we have to follow and that we have to maintain. But all those levels work together to be a powerful voice for children in schools, to promote family engagement. The PTA is a registered 501c3 nonprofit association, and our membership is open to anyone who is willing to support our school community, anyone who supports our mission and wants to have a say in their child's education and welfare at school. And honestly, to give you a few examples of what the PTA has done in the country, the National PTA, they've advocated for such programs as the creation of kindergarten classes. So things like that. Healthy lunch programs, school safety, arts and education. Recently, we just completed our Reflections program. So that's one of them, one of their national programs that they have advocated for. And also child labor laws. So they really have done a lot for the country and for the children. And it just, all of these levels work together to make the PTA what it is.
That's amazing. Thanks for the clarification, because having had schooling in India and London, I wasn't even aware of the concept of the PTA. I learned of its existence when I came to schooling here in the US. My parents never stepped into school. They just thought school was something you go in, complete your studies, and come back home. In fact, while growing up, the movies didn't portray the PTA in the most positive of lights either. But fast forward to meet and greet day at Peterson, and I remember seeing Val and Viveka's smiling faces, like ushering me to the PTA table. And she mentioned ways in which I could be a part of my child's school experience, and I thought, sure, let's try one activity and see how it goes. And I was hesitant at first because I do run a company of my own, and I thought volunteering would be such a time suck, but it wasn't. And no one made it a mandatory thing either. So it's a whole different story that I craved it so much because my child would just have a beautiful smile on her face every time she'd see me in school. So that was just priceless to me. And I also got a chance to meet so many working parents putting in time to help around the school, and in turn helping my child. I figured it wouldn't take too much out of my time to come in once in a while and just be able to chip in. I consider it as a privilege, and I think it just needed a mindset shift from my side. Angela, as a parent, I would love to hear what has the PTA provided in school for the kids.
Sure. So as much as we love putting on social events throughout the year, I mean, we do, and we've had a great time doing that. The PTA is much more than that. So through our membership drive that starts at the beginning of the school year, and combine that with our large fundraiser, and this year it was Orange Ruler. I'm sure everyone heard about the Orange Ruler fundraiser. we're able to support several programs at the school. And at the beginning of the year, as a board, we sort of sit down and try and determine what are we fundraising for this year? What goal do we have? Do we have one specific goal that we're trying to reach? We then take our budget to our membership meeting, our first PTA membership meeting, and they vote on our budget. And we literally have every dollar accounted for. It's incredible if you look at our budget, what we support. So things like technology, so app licenses. So if your child has ever come home and watched a Brain Pop video, we pay for that license, and they're not inexpensive. I mean, these are to provide a license for the entire school to use. It is thousands of dollars. Movie licenses, LMC materials and books. We fund assemblies. So when we bring an assembly in from away, they come in and we're paying for that as well. We give each teacher a teacher enrichment classroom grant that range from $75 all the way up to $225, depending on what teacher it is. And it's not just the classroom teachers that get that. It's the specials teachers, it's the special ed and support staff that also get those grants. We fund field trips. Our fifth graders last month went to see a hockey game. And yesterday our fourth grade class went to Neighbor Settlement. And so we're able to give $200 per classroom for field trips. We fund hospitality events for staff throughout the year. We have beverage carts, which are random surprises where we literally push a cart through the school and offer them snacks and beverages. And then we fund Teacher Appreciation Week in May. The One Book, One School program. If you've been a student or a family at Peterson for a couple of years, we did a book right before COVID hit, and we are doing that again this year. Outdoor improvement, so things like the Gaga Ball pit, the sensory walk on the blacktop, the tables that are in the backyard now. So those came from us. A few years ago, we put the murals in the gym, the paw prints and the Panther logo. And we also did a dedication banner. And we had Mr. and Mrs. Peterson come in for the dedication and to honor their daughter Danielle, for which the school is named. The science fair, the fifth grade end of the year celebration and field trip. We offer meals to staff. We're doing a meal for staff during conferences this week. We'll be offering a holiday meal for them. We do a big meal during teacher appreciation. And this year, our main fundraising goal with Orange Ruler was to purchase a marquee sign, a digital marquee sign to go outside of the school. And we're really excited to be able to do that this year. So we are meeting with a vendor soon, and we're hoping that we can break ground in the spring and get that installed. So that's just some of what we do. So I hope that in addition to the fundraising side of things and what we provide behind the scenes, we also coordinate the school supply sale. So at the end of every school year, you'll start to see those flyers come home, encouraging you to purchase your school supplies ahead of time. We do the spirit wear. So anytime you're buying spirit wear, that's through the PTA. We assist Nurse Patty with volunteers. We also help her stock her office, whether it's clothing, kids have accidents, they need a change, and she just doesn't have a budget for that. So we really try to help her with that. So it's as simple as sending out a sign up genius and encouraging people to donate. Other ways we try to raise funds include our dinner nights. We get a percentage of the sales from those nights, and we are really trying to work to get some more culturally diverse restaurants to participate to appeal to more of our community. Programs like Amazon Smile, where they donate a percentage of sales, and then a new program that was introduced by our membership platform called Givebacks, which operates in a similar fashion where you download a browser, or on your browser, you download a program and it donates on your behalf. It's at no cost to you. It's a percentage of your purchase. So there's so many things.
That's a lot.
So yeah, I hope that answered that
wow.
part of it for you. I don't know if I gave you too much information.
No,
but
I didn't know about all of that.
Yeah.
And PTA does make a lot of things happen. So one of the things I absolutely enjoyed getting to know more about was the room parent concept. And, when it was introduced to me, it was a chance for me to be able to be part of my child's teacher's classroom. And I hadn't done it before, and it kind of seemed daunting, but I was appreciative that there was a step-by-step guide, and it just made the experience fun and easy. And both my husband and I have gone into school, done pumpkin math. We've done high frequency words, and our daughter's always so happy to see us in class, even though she'll say, "Don't embarrass us." Those are her words, not mine, but we totally do. But thank you for that, So could you tell me, if parents wanted to join, how does membership work? And could you share more about what all do you get access to once you do become a member?
Sure. Our membership is open all year round. So our initial push for membership is at the beginning of the school year, because obviously we're trying to raise funds for programs that we put on early in the year. But it's open all year round. The most important thing is that your PTA membership gives you a vote. So each membership you purchase, you get one vote at our PTA meeting, which is really important because that's where decisions are made. We review our financial statements, we discuss new business, we go over all the events that have happened over the past month. And so we're turning to our membership during those meetings. And if we have to put anything to a vote, we vote on our budget at the beginning of the year, like I mentioned before. That's your chance to cast your vote and to really participate in the process. So this year, now that we're sort of, I guess, normal, can we say we're back to normal? We've gone back to our older membership format, which is 2 levels of membership. So our basic family membership is $25. And with that, you get your vote, which is important. You have access to the PTA directory, and you're invited to all member events. Our second level of membership is the Golden Paw membership, which is $100. You have all of the same benefits as the family membership, but it also includes your entry into all of our events that we have throughout the year. So if there's anything that requires an admission fee or something like that, you've prepaid essentially. It's a great membership if you've got more than one child in the building. Mm-hmm. So we also host, a few times a year, we host members only nights. So these are exclusive events that we market just for members. It's not open to the general population. We started the year this year with an ice cream social, which was very well attended, and I think people had a lot of fun. Most recently, we had our fall member night, which was just held last week, and Color Me Mine came to school and we painted pottery. So that's always a fun night. And we've been working with them for probably 3 years now. Even through COVID, we were able to keep working with them. We did it virtually, and she's been fantastic. Cool. In the winter, we're looking to host another member night. I can't give away the details just yet, so you'll have to stay tuned for that one. And probably one of the bigger perks, I guess you could say, to all levels of membership is access to the PTA directory, which is something I mentioned a bit earlier. And that is a list of all of the families who have agreed to share their information for communication purposes. So it's a great resource if your child comes home and says, I've been playing with Susie and I'd like to have her over for a play date, and mom and dad don't know who Susie is. And it's a way to meet families and get in touch. And so it is a really valuable document to have. We also send out a monthly newsletter. And so as a PTA member, you would receive that in your inbox at the beginning of every month. And that highlights what we're doing, what's coming up, important dates and things like that. So it's valuable information. And honestly, I really look at a PTA membership as an investment or a donation to the school. I mean, at the end of the day, that money is being put back into our building, funding all of those things that I mentioned before. And there's a place for everybody in the PTA. And what I am so excited about is the fact that we're able to have volunteers back in the building, like you mentioned before. And that's just made all the difference. And so much more, people are so much more enthusiastic to get involved. We can have parents and guardians back in the building. I have to emphasize that volunteering is always a choice, and it's never expected of a member. It's not required. We know that not everybody has the same flexibility and the same amount of free time as others do to come in and do things at the school. So if you are able to sign up for some of the volunteer opportunities to come in, that's wonderful. But there are times when we might do a Sign Up Genius looking for donations, and that's a really great way for working parents who don't have as much, flexibility to drop off an item. And that's just as valuable as someone coming in with their time, to spend helping us do something, because we really do rely on our community. And I mean, we're just so grateful because every time we ask, people come through. And so we really value the trust that people put in us as the board, and the trust that people have in us, and the confidence, I think, just helps us to kind of, stay with it and work to improve it and just make Peterson a great place.
That's amazing. And I remember you telling me one time that the mindset of I get to volunteer versus I have to. And when I started looking at it that way, it is a privilege, even though it's not mandatory, but it is a privilege that I get to come into school, be a part of my child's environment. So, and in terms of membership, firstly, being a member didn't mean I had to volunteer. That was news to me. It could have just been that I'm a member by donating a specific amount to the PTA, and that's that. And it helps support the initiative. Just by being a member, I got access to the directory, like you mentioned, and it did help during COVID times. It did help while planning birthday parties for the kiddos. I know so many friends of mine who took advantage of that. Secondly, knowing that I am paying high taxes and contributing to Naperville, living in Naperville, knowing that the school gets funding from the district and there's a budget allotted, knowing all of that, a part of me didn't want to pay the membership. But I didn't realize that despite the budget, it didn't allow room for other things like you mentioned, and that teachers were buying things out of their own pockets to, enrich their classroom. And I was happy to know that my donation to the PTA helped offset that. It helped provide the apps and the technologies that you mentioned. So I was happy to hear that. Lastly, I'll end with this. Think of a well-rounded child. They enjoy the physical stuff at school, the library, the education, the social aspect, and everyone values something different. And to realize that support from the back end came from the PTA was new and pleasant to learn. So thank you so much, Angela, for answering all my questions about the PTA and how it makes my child's school experience an enriched one. Also, thanks for allowing me to share my apprehensions openly, and hopefully it resonated with some parents out there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to chat. And we certainly welcome and encourage families to reach out to us if they do have questions that we didn't answer this evening, or would like to get involved, or would like to join the PTA. Our email is a great way to get a hold of us, and that is petersonpantherspta@gmail.com, all lowercase. We're also very active on social media. Our secretary, Kelly, is great with Instagram and Facebook, so we encourage you to follow us on those platforms. We, reminders about Spirit Day and if there are special activities going on about school. And we also have a website, so there's lots of information there as well. So lots of ways to reach out, and we'd love to hear from people.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.